PlayStation, man. We finally see the state of play. You guys know when it comes to state of play, I'm always big on events in general. I like to see events. I like to be told about new games being announced. I like that. Now, obviously, I made a video yesterday that was like, talking about this state of play in general. And to me, when I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, they didn't set a lot of expectations, which was interesting by itself. There was a lot of scenarios that went into this. And to me, I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, what should I expect from state of play? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen the state of play and I'm here to tell you it was okay. Look, we can all admit when it comes to events in general, it's just about the games. And look, they had games here. I do feel like there are some games that outstayed their welcome, that didn't need to be there for as long as they was. There was a moment where I felt like Monster Hunter Wilds was on that screen for like half the show. Maybe I'm tripping on that, but I did. I felt like that Monster Hunter Wilds was on there for half the show. Does that mean it's bad? No. But it's just like, man, like you could have gave that to, what we're about to get into, the new Ghost game. I would have preferred to see some gameplay. The game's supposed to come out next year. And there was not really a whole lot of like full-blown gameplay. Now, I do think all that was in-game engine, and that's pretty much how the game's going to look. I thought it looked very well, but we'll get to that here in a second. They showed us Power World. Power World's finally coming out for the PlayStation, which is interesting because they're doing the lawsuit right now, man. That lawsuit is in full effect. It's interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I think, you are entitled to be disappointed, to be upset. One thing that I want to bring up is it's interesting the direction they went with Ghost. Like, a lot of people like Jen. I like Jen. I like, the relationship with the grandfather or father. I can't remember exactly the relations with it. The energy that Jen gave, and he's not in the sequel. It's another whole aspect, another complete different person. It is a female. It's a female lead, which I got no issue with that. But it is interesting that she is part of this game. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out. Like myself, I'm still going to play it. I'm still going to enjoy that game. But I know a lot of people that's going to look at that choice, and even if it's not, quote unquote woke or anything, they're going to deem it woke. Is it woke? I don't know. But it is interesting they went with that particular, direction with the franchise. I kind of felt like Rise Son of Rome should have went that way with the franchise, where every game is designated to a different person in history that they can go through. For instance, I would say kind of move around a lot like Final Fantasy does. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4. All these games is a sequel to the last. It's a new game in the franchise, but they're not connected to each other. There are certain games, Final Fantasy, that are connected to each other. For instance, there was some sequels, like direct sequels on 12 on like the handhelds. Final Fantasy had one. Final Fantasy 13 had one. Final Fantasy 10 had one. So there are scenarios where this is done. But it is interesting that, they're going this direction with Ghost of Tsushima. There was a couple games on there that I was actually kind of like really excited to play. There was a turn-based game that was announced on there. I've never played it, and I am interested to try it out. I think that if anything this thing showed is it showed that there's a lot of aspects to gaming that I've never really played a whole lot. Because, it was either I didn't have the system it was on, or if anything like that. So, I'm interested, man. I'm interested. I think the Lunar game is definitely going to be something I'm going to try out. There's a lot of stuff, I believe, that they showed. The Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remasters. Once again, we're clowning on PlayStation for making a lot of remasters, and this State of Play had a lot of them in it. Legacy of Kain 1 and 2 remaster. They had the Horizon remake or remaster. They had the Lunar remasters. Well, whatever you guys want to call them. There's a lot of those, man. There's a lot of those. It's interesting. It's interesting. We got the Astrobot DLC. They kind of showed more bots in there. I'm kind of interested in something like that. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. But here's the thing. Regardless how I feel about the showcase, it's a solid experience. It was. But I'm not convinced 100% this is what people want. I don't think it's what people want. When I look at something like this scenario and I look at it, and I think people would agree with me. We want a showcase. Nothing they showed in that showcase, besides maybe Ghost, is getting me to reach into my pocket and buy a PlayStation 5 Pro. Maybe that's not their intention. Maybe they just wanted to give you good experiences and go through with that. One thing I didn't like about that is there was a segment where they did montages of games that's being enhanced. And when you look at those enhancements, they were showing the same games over and over again. Where did that come from? Like, I felt like if you're going to show games over and over again, like they showed, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, like multiple times, Stellar Blade multiple times, just show it one time and make the montage smaller. So it is what it is when it comes to that. Look, the Ghost game was definitely a surprise, but not a surprise at the same time. I think we can all agree that we kind of knew this game was coming. There's no denying that. If you did not think that this game was coming eventually, I don't know what to tell you. I think we all knew that it was just a matter of time before PlayStation gets some of these first parties out. I think we want a roadmap. Maybe I'm wrong. We want a showcase. That's what we want. And I'm not saying they didn't give it to us. I'm just saying that with this particular thing, maybe it's our expectations, and that's fair. I will say maybe our expectations is a little off. It's not necessarily I expected a lot from it. I just wanted a little bit more oomph to it, man. I wanted to see more first party, maybe show me a little bit more games that's being enhanced by the PlayStation 5 Pro, maybe cut some of those other stuff and put it on the PlayStation 5 Pro. I said in my video yesterday that I felt like a huge portion of this was they wanted to focus on the partners that they had. They have, marketing agreements, marketing contracts, and sometimes they have to come out and do this stuff regardless, even if they want to, because they have these things that they need to fulfill. And I think a lot of that's going on here too. It's not like it's a bad state of play. It's just, it's average. Most of the chat was definitely clowning on it. And you guys know the IOP chat. So I'm not going to really go into whether or not this person liked it, whether or not that person liked it. I do think it was a very diverse one. They gave people of every background in gaming something to look forward to. But I do feel like I said, I'm very interested to see if this is what the community of PlayStation wanted. I play on PlayStation. I don't consider myself part of the PlayStation community. And I haven't really checked on Twitter or anything. I went straight from one stream to another. So I don't know what like the core PlayStation community is. But from someone outside looking in, someone that just plays on the PlayStation brand, this was okay, but it's not what we wanted. And they did name it State of Play, so we can't really expect we wanted like a showcase environment. But even though they didn't name it Showcase, people want the showcase. People want to see what is the roadmap. That's the biggest thing, and I think we can all admit that. Did we get at least Ghost? Yeah. But I think we want more than that, man. What's Naughty Dog working on? What's the next God of War game working on? There's so many stuff that I felt like people want. People want a roadmap. People want to see what the next couple years of PlayStation's doing in the future. They used to do it. Maybe that's not the way anymore, and that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Part of me does like to see games come out like a year after they've announced. So I feel them on that. But as far as like everything else, okay show. Nothing fantastic, nothing bad. just an okay show. Doesn't really show you no reason to buy a PlayStation 5 Pro or anything like that. But it was an okay show. I wonder where Death Stranding 2 is. I know that they're going to be at the Tokyo Game Show. I wonder if we're going to see more of that here going in the future. But anyway, what do you guys feel, man? Tell me in the comment section below. I'm very curious. I'm going to read through those. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this video. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We make content just about weekly. I had to make my video a little later today because of the state of play, and I felt like it was not going to be very productive if I made another video and then have to make this video to schedule for tomorrow. I got a video coming out tomorrow about TGS for Xbox. I'm going to do it with Genshi from Twitter. I probably butchered his name, but it'll be all right. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Lord Addict ILP, Addict Arena. Oddly enough, I'm making this video live streaming there. My chat's been very patient with me. All that's in the description below. Till next time, this is Gaming Addicts. I'm out of here. Peace.